What's going on, Brookies?
Hey.
Welcome back to the Storybrooke Circus. I am Mackee.
I am Isla.
That is who we are. And we're back with episode 9 of this crazy Storybrooke Circus show.
We do have a special guest today.
Oh my god, a special guest.
Super funsies.
Say hello, special guest.
The Florida Christmas tree.
For those of you who can't see, Isla's holding up a pineapple right now.
And not only am I holding it up, but it is hanging out with us today for the episode.
Oh, good.
It's bringing
That's
a specific
exciting.
sort of ambiance that...
I like the vibe. I do like it.
We're vibing.
I like it.
And
when
when Mackee says pineapple, he does not mean that I'm like sitting here eating like,
No, it's a full pineapple.
cubes of pineapple. It is a full, beautiful pineapple. We don't know what's going to happen with him. We'll see. But just wanted to make sure that he was properly introduced.
We are so weird. In case you're like tuning into this episode for the first time, I don't know why you're tuning in randomly to episode 9. That's kind of weird. But if you are and you're wondering what the hell is going on, we review...
Never fear. It gets weirder.
It does get weirder. We review the Once Upon a Time TV show from ABC, one episode at a time. We're currently on season 1, episode 9, as you can see by the title. Today, in fact, for the very first time, we're also shooting video. This is kind of exciting, and we're going to put the video up on YouTube. So we'll wave for our YouTube viewers. Hey,
we're like YouTubers now.
We're just going to put on a portion of the show, and then, if you'd like to watch the rest of it, at the end of the video, there will be a place where you can see where to go to watch the rest of it, or to listen to the rest of it. But for those of you who are listening in your car, or on your run, or walk with your dog, or wherever you happen to be when you're listening to your podcast, we do love you. We love you very much. First of all, besides the pineapple, how are you doing? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
It's April. April is my favorite month of all time.
As of today, it is April 1st. This is not your April Fool's joke. Well, it'll be aired on April 2nd, but it is April 1st today, and there's been some crazy weather. I saw a friend of mine post on Instagram that it's snowing in Ohio right now on April 1st, which is a big fat no. Here, it was like a little bit rainy, but generally sunny, but not very warm. Really weird. Like yesterday.
Same here.
Like
it
90
looked
degrees.
Nice out, and then we went out, and it was not nice.
Yeah, it was like, I don't want to say cold. It wasn't even Florida cold. You know how Florida cold is like 60 degrees. It wasn't like cold, but it was definitely, I would say like shorts and a light hoodie. You know what I mean? Okay. Like it's not even cold enough for fall. It's like it was just like a weird like dry air today. It was very strange.
Yeah.
But very pretty all day as it is very many days in Florida. So we're going to, I don't know if we're going to turn this into a segment because we don't really have repeating kinds of information for this, but we're going to take this very beginning portion before we get into the Once Upon a Time stuff of the show to talk a little bit about us. The Mackee and Isla show, if you will, which I guess
because
the whole show is the Mackee and Isla show. But
it's our show, so.
It is. It's our show.
We're going to do
what we want. So we're going to do a little bit of self-promotion. It's not really like an official ad or anything, because it's really, it's like, I'm just saying that because I know whenever I hear promotion on podcasts, I'm like, fast forward, I don't care. But these are just our personal projects that we work on. So Isla, you go first and tell us about your business venture that you do on the side.
Oh my gosh. So I paint jackets. I don't like the term paint though. I tattoo jackets.
Ooh,
and you know what? Not even just jackets. Any sort of denim, really, it's my jam. I started it as something to make my daughter Harper, if you don't know, the light of my life, Harper Jane. She wanted a Grinch jacket, and I saw somebody making them, but they were like $110. And I was like, I love you, baby, but you grow every 2 months, so no. So I painted one myself, and it turned out that people were kind of into it. So I made some for some friends and some friends of friends. And then I was like, I could do this because it's fun. And I need a hobby. Because I'm like a mid-20-something lost. I'm like crisising.
How long ago was this, by the way?
What was this? November?
Yeah, so we were still kind of in the
April
pandemic, 1st. Going on.
I'm crisising in a panini. I'm momming. I'm wifing. I'm working full time.
Stuck in the house.
All of these things. I needed a hobby, and I found one. And it has turned into Peachy Jane Co., which
Peachy
is where
Jane Co.
I paint. And I
Hoorah.
love it.
You get the air horn for that.
Thank you.
Very low volume air horn.
If you or someone that you know in your life needs something that is custom painted by yours truly, hit me up. I don't have an Instagram page for it. You just go on my Instagram, which was Isla Sikorsky. ILA, S as in Samantha, IKOR, S as in Samantha, KI. Find me on the Twitter.
Beautiful.
The TikToky. Hit me up.
There
I
you
would
go.
love to paint more things, because every time that I get to paint one and it goes off to his little home, I like shed a little tear.
And we will make sure to get that link in the description in case you are driving or something and couldn't like write that down. We will make sure to have a link where you can go to it. I love Peachy Janko. First of all, I love the name. Super cute. I love your logo too, which is also adorable.
I have stickers now.
Yeah, you do have
So
stickers. That's right.
People buy jackets so I can put them on my packaging because they're so cute.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you like some custom painted stuff, go for it. As for myself, we are on the tail end of a t-shirt shop that we started 5 years
Who's
ago,
we?
my wife and I.
Thank you.
My darling wife, Taryn, and myself. She is an artist, and she, among other things, and she would draw designs for us on our shirts. Well, pandemic hit, and like a lot of places, we just couldn't keep it open, so we're kind of on the tail end of closing that. But we do have a couple weeks left over. I think it's sometime mid this month that we're going to be closing the shop. So if you'd like to check out Mackryn Designs, which is a mashup of our name, it's MACKRYN designs.com. We have a bunch of Disney, mostly Disney stuff, shirts, hoodies, stuff on bags. We have some really, really cool backpacks that I know no one will buy because they're too expensive to manufacture, but they're very, very cool that we kind of hand designed ourselves. But that's kind of one of the bigger things that have taken up our side hustle time. But in addition to that, the thing that I'm moving forward with, I will be starting a YouTube channel, but I'm not going to advertise that yet. It's two things kind of combined because I don't have the content up there yet. Before I wanted to get the YouTube started, I wanted to make sure that I had a live audience that I can interact with. So I started a Twitch account. For those of you who don't know what Twitch is, just in case you don't know, because it's a very like gamer heavy thing and not a lot of people know what it is. It's basically a live streaming website, and you're basically live streaming your computer. There are people who do in real life streams where they'll go out with their phone and go do it out there, but it's really made for gamers to stream their games, broadcast their game play online, and have people chat with them in the little chat box on the side. I do game on PC, but that's not what I use Twitch for. What I use Twitch for is I edit my photography, my portrait photography on Twitch live, and people come hang out in my chat. And if I have other photographers in there, I will often ask them if I get photographers of like a wide range of like, professionals who've been doing it for 12 years and somebody who just picked up a camera who's just learning photography this week and wants to know where to start. So I kind of do interactive tutorials and stuff with them and kind of talk through my process as I'm doing it. So I get to not only get my work done, but also hang out and chat with people. But at the same time, they get to watch my process and my techniques and all that stuff. So if you're into photography, or in Photoshop and Lightroom and that kind of thing, then my Twitch is kind of my live, Instagram live type of thing. But Twitch has a lot more features. There's things like channel points that you get when you're in somebody's room. It's
fun.
Yeah,
it's a very interactive. I don't know. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
even if you're not into photography, because it's cool to just watch the process of somebody doing.
Right.
I think it's cool to watch somebody do something that they're like really passionate about, even if I have no idea what's going on. I just think it's really interesting. And I know a couple people that watch your Twitch that also do that. They're like, I don't know what any of this means, but it's really cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on Twitch who do like crafts. They do their clay pots, like pottery stuff, like all sorts of things. So it's not just gaming. It's just gaming is the most popular thing that people use Twitch for. And like the gaming community knows about Twitch, but outside the gaming community, not super popular. So I kind of try to get the word out there about not just my Twitch, but Twitch in general, because it's this fun, like it's basically like an interactive TV show where you get to sometimes influence the content. Like for those channel point rewards I was talking about, every so often while you're watching the streams, you get points added to your account, right? And every channel has a different, so like mine are swag points. Some people have coins or lightning or whatever. There's like, all these like different names for it. But you can redeem those points for custom things that the broadcaster puts in there. For instance, for me, if you redeem a certain amount of points, an animation will come out and like punch me in the face. Like
gosh.
Like a cartoon fist will come punch the middle of the screen. Or you can redeem it and rain will start raining, like digital rain on the screen each scene that I'm in. It's like different little things. Like I have one that I just added where it just pumps confetti into the room, and my viewers were trying to compete with each other on like appropriate or sometimes inappropriate timings of the confetti, because it has like a sound and stuff. So people would say stuff in the room and they would like choose that time to pump the confetti in.
Oh my gosh.
It was actually really funny. There's
inappropriate censor.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you like interactive TV shows and or photography, or some people, it's kind of weird, but a compliment. Some people say that they just like to listen to my voice and the music that I play in the background. I play like kind of lo-fi hip hop type of stuff. And they just like, having it on in the background and while I'm messing around and just doing whatever. So that's kind of my main thing that I'm publicizing
it's fun.
right now.
Check it out.
My fun show. And eventually my hope is that I will be able to do these like quick produced tips that I'll put on YouTube and use the YouTube to point people to my show on Twitch. But I'm relatively new streamer. I only started I think September, October or something like that. So I'm only a few months into
And when do you
account.
stream?
I stream currently, that's going to change a little bit based on the fact that The Bachelor is no longer on Mondays, so we don't know when we're taping this show, Storybrooke Circus. I usually stream on Mondays, but right now my schedule is a little bit in flux because we don't know where our podcast taping is going to land. So if you would like to know when I am online...
During the Bachelor season, he streams on Mondays.
Yes, but in between Bachelor seasons, it might be Tuesdays or Sundays. That's kind of where it's probably going to land. I'm usually on at night, usually kind of a 9 p.m.-ish type of thing. But if you'd like to know where you can get schedule information, I have a Discord specifically for my Twitch that I will put in the show notes as well. And I advertise it on my Instagram, so I will put that in my Instagram also. So those are our personal projects that we work on, in case you wanted a little more information on the broadcasters that put on your Storybrooke Circus.
We're shamelessly self-plugging ourselves.
That's right, for 15 minutes. And I hope I will do diligence. I'll put the timings in the show notes in case you're like, I don't care about any of this crap. I just want to get into Once Upon a Time.
And totally don't tell us.
No, but I'll give you the time so you can jump to it if you feel like it. Speaking of telling us, this is the part of the show at the very beginning where we get to hear from you, and we call this segment the Storybrooke Daily Mirror. Would you like to tell our amazing listeners, how do they participate? How do they get in to the Storybrooke Daily Mirror?
Talk to us, guys.
That's it.
We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your thoughts on pen and paper when you write in and give us a 5-star review. If you are over on Apple Podcasts and you're thinking to yourself, this was a really good episode, I can't wait to hear more, write about it when you leave a 5-star review. We appreciate every time somebody clicks the 5-star and submits it. Write something. Give us words to absorb and feel in our souls.
And we will share them on the air if you give us
And we'll
words.
read them.
Yeah.
You can also send us a DM on our Instagram account if you don't want to leave us a 5-star review or call in. That's totally fine. Email. We have an email. All of these things will be in the show notes. I'm not going to spell everything out right now, so just scroll a little bit down. We just want to hear from you. What did you think about last week's episode? Do you have a eulogy for our boy Graham?
Oh, yeah. We're still taking those.
Did we say something wrong? Probably. Do you hate it? Do you love it? We want to know anything. We want the Brookies to just talk. Mackee and I don't shut up ever. We are just continuously spewing word vomit. And we want you to join that conversation with us.
We do. We would love that. More than anything. It really does mean a lot to us to make this a conversation and not just a ridiculous meeting.
Yeah, we don't want to talk at you. We want to talk with you.
Yeah.
We want to hang out.
In fact, that's like really, really important to us. We made this podcast. One of the first things that we said to each other is that we want this to feel like your show too, because TV watching is a group experience. If you watch with your friends or whoever's in the room, like if you've ever done watch parties with your friends, there's nothing more fun, provided everyone has seen everything and people aren't talking over each other and annoyed that they can't hear the show. There's nothing more fun than having, hearing other people's opinions about the stuff that you're watching together as a group, or like if you go to a movie and then after the movie you get something to eat and everybody's talking about their interpretation of it. I love that, and we want that from you guys too. We want to know your opinions, and this show is definitely got has a lot of opinions behind it. I think it makes people think, and people feel a certain way about their favorite characters and plot lines and everything. So this week we have a couple of people who had reached out to us that we wanna call out. One of those people is Taryn from Texas. Loyal listener to our show. In fact, our first written review on Apple Podcasts. Actually, she's the one who let me know that it was on. I didn't even know it was on Apple Podcasts, like released, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's on there," and I'm already subscribed. She sent us this really dope picture. She sent a message to the Instagram and said, "I'm working on it," and I was like, "What is this?" And I clicked into the little video, and she sent us a picture of the drinking game rule. She's making like a sheet, like a
poster, like what do you call that? I don't even know.
Like a flyer,
a pamphlet.
I don't know. But it's very dope. Beautiful, and it's well laid out. It has room for the extra rules. We haven't really, a lot of drinking game rules that I saw online have it separated out to like take a sip, take a chug, finish your drink, and like there were different categories. We haven't really done that, but now that we see it on paper, like there's the potential to like even further
move things around. We really had no idea what we were doing with this. We just said drinking game because that's what you say for things like this.
Yeah, it was really.
And then we realized we needed to really like hone in on it and like narrow things down, which we did. We got that verbally done pretty well. If it wasn't last week's, it was the week before.
It was. So she actually said that actually really helped her re-sum everything up because she was having a hard time
put it into real life, which is just so cool. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
You don't have to censor yourself on this show. It's okay.
I know. It's so cool. I censor myself 8 hours a day. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're used to that. But it's really beautiful. Taryn, you did an amazing job. Thank you so much for doing that and continuing to help curate our list. If anybody else wants to curate ridiculous things that we say or anything like that, by the way, this stuff happens in Discord all the time where people talk about I think we actually made a dedicated channel to just like stupid shit that we say during the show that people wanted.
We didn't even make that.
Which I love. That was actually the people, yeah.
Thank you guys.
Spoke.
They're like, we want to hear the dumb shit that you say. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
They wanted to actually like have a separate place like Isla and Mackee memes or something. But yeah, join the Discord. Please join the Discord. We'd love to talk to you in between. Anyway, the last thing in our Storybrooke Daily Mirror is we have a voicemail, which I'm so excited about because we really love hearing your guys' voice. Longtime listener. We have Jordan. So let's listen to this voicemail.
Hi, Mackee and Isla. It's Jordan. I'm just calling to check in and tell you how much I miss you, and I love hearing your beautiful voices twice a week or, sometimes like 17 times a week. Like right now where I'm trying to catch up on Storybrooke Circus. So first off, I was almost giddy when you guys said my name in the middle of Still Small Voice, and you're like, "Oh, I can't wait for Jordan," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, my friends, yay, makes me so happy."
I love this.
And then obviously watching Shepherd, my boy, so excited. I cannot believe you guys didn't get the correct MVP for that episode, though. Clearly, it's David's mom. It's Charming's mom. She is the MVP of Shepherd. She gave up, maybe her second true love after her husband, but she gave up her true love so that he could be happy and prosperous? Is that the right word?
I love you, Jordan.
No idea.
Without the ring, none of this is going to come together. She's the MVP. I wish I actually knew her name. I know Anakin's mom's name. It's Shmi. Like, it's me, Shmi. But thank you guys so much for everything you do. Love listening to the pod, as always. And I hope I talk to you guys soon. Gotta go, watch a couple more episodes. Bye.
Jordan.
Incredible.
We love you so much, Jordan. Thank you for calling in. What a hot take. What do you think about that?
Oh my, who did we even give the MVP to?
I don't remember. I think it was Rumble. I don't know. So
That's a very valid MVP.
Here's something that we might need tracking help on. Tracking who our MVPs are and what the ratings are for each episode. Those are things that we just throw out there and we don't have a way to like...
Right.
We need somebody to like
We need somebody to keep up with it, like Barstool Pizza Review. Like we need... I'm not...
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm serious.
I love Dave Portnoy. I don't care who knows that. I know that's terrible of me as a female to say, but I don't care.
If anybody out there wants to help us curate that list, that would be amazing. But
what a good one.
That.
What a good
I love
one.
That. Like to have, and that's kind of a really, one of the reasons why I wanted to do an MVP is because I didn't want to just make it obvious, like whoever the show was about, like that episode,
Emma.
character backstory, or Emma. But I mean, sometimes it could be Emma, but the idea of like David's mom is, never going to show up again, or like only once or twice as a super background character. But to give the MVP to that character is dope. And that's a good reason too. Like,
whatever mine was motion. Doesn't compare to what that was. That had reason. It was backed. It was spot on.
That's it. Yeah, that's really great.
Jordan.
And she's right.
I know
like
we don't agree about. I know we don't agree about Charming, and that's okay, girl. We're gonna get through it together.
He was good in that episode.
He has his moments.
I was not sold. It's okay.
I'm not sold, but he has his moments, and I do throw him some bones. But
that's fair. That's totally fair.
Jordan, I love you.
Thank you again. So if you would like to leave us a voicemail just like Jordan just did, the number is 207-536-8512. And if you call us, then we will play your voicemail on the air just like you heard. If you'd like to offer up your own MVP or even your own rating as we do at the end of the show, or you have just a favorite part of the episode you like or something like that, or you just want to say hi, and that's it. That's totally fine. If you literally picked up the phone and went, hi, love you, and then we'd be like, love you too, and then we move on.
It would be great. It would be great.
It would be great. Okay, so we will move on before I continuously beg people anymore on the air. So now we get to talk about the actual show. We're reviewing episode 9 today, which is called True North, which is awesome. Spicy. January 15th, 2012 is when this aired. It was written by David H. Goodman and Liz Tigelar. This is always the one I can't pronounce. Tigelar, perhaps? It's 2 A's at the end. Very interesting. Directed by Dean White, and the character backstory on this is Hansel and Gretel, which is a little bit off the beaten path.
What a weird title.
Right? True North?
To go with that kind of, I don't know. True North gives me like Elsa vibes.
Yes, that's true.
So it's weird that it's Hansel and Gretel.
So here's something that I noticed in the wiki that I want to call out because I'm thinking about adding it to the drinking game rules, sort of. Because we had talked about when to drink when they call out the actual name of the episode. Well, they don't always say the verbatim name. Sometimes they just refer to it indirectly. And the wiki actually points out what the reference is. That have the line in the show that references the title. And this one, Gretel says, your compass, question. And the woodcutter says, so you won't get lost. A family always needs to be able to find one another. That is the reference to True North.
Oh,
so
okay.
when we hear that line, I think that will be the trigger for drink. So I'll add that to these beginning of the show notes here. So the synopsis of this episode is, feeling their pain from having lived through the same experience, Emma desperately tries to help 2 homeless children find their birth father before they're separated and put into the foster care system.
I feel like this is going to be an issue.
Yeah, I know. I can already tell. Meanwhile, in this fairy tale world, the evil queen coerces Hansel and Gretel into stealing an important artifact from a blind witch. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. And actually,
this is going to be bad.
Today, neither one of us have seen the episode this week. Sometimes I get to watch it before and pull out a couple things, but I didn't get to watch it this time. So this will be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't remember this episode at all, so this will be interesting.
I don't either, and I think that's weird because I don't love, but the story of Hansel and Gretel is just so interesting to me in all of the ways that it's told throughout, different versions of it.
Right.
But it's just always crazy to me that it's this wacky old witch that eats kids. Like,
right. But it is another like weird Brothers Grimm dark tale. You know what I mean?
That's
like
the one that I specifically always remember is the movie Brothers Grimm.
Right.
Great movie if you haven't seen it. But their version of Hansel and Gretel is spooky.
Yeah. It's and all of their tales are
all of them are really, but it's
dark and creepy.
dark.
Yeah. And they don't say anything about they dress the Hansel and Gretel up sexy because of weird, like they do with Red Riding Hood.
Or Ruby, our girl.
Justice for
always
Ruby,
being
hashtag.
disrespected.
Hashtag Justice for Ruby. Now we have a video outlet where I can put the hashtag at the bottom of the screen like they do on comedy shows. Hashtag Justice
for Ruby. I hope the actress that plays her one day somehow finds us and is like, wow, guys, thank you. I couldn't talk about this for the entirety of the 2000s, but I am ready to speak out now, and I was really disrespected the entire time that I was on the show.
What's her name? Megan Ori. We'll talk about her when we get into.
I'm gonna DM her. I'm gonna find her Instagram.
What is she doing right now? I mean, I bet if somebody really like if we message somebody who wasn't like in showbiz, who like we could. I've seen people come on podcasts and just talk about it. Like just Skype call them and do an interview or something like that. I bet somebody would do it. We'll do some research. We'll see if we can find like.
We'll look into it.
Before the end of this show's 135 episodes or something like that. Before the end of the show, I would like to get one person who worked on it. It doesn't even have to be an actor. I'm cool with like production manager, a random prop person, like
She's
just
2 kids.
Anybody. She's also so beautiful. Like it's
so
ridiculous.
beautiful. But she's a mom. She has 2 kids and a husband.
We're gonna get into some detail about her life when we get into a Ruby episode. But now we're gonna talk about some production notes. This is a section where we talk about some background things that happened during the episode. So production notes.
Production notes.
So some like BTS kind of things that happen on set, props and goofs and things like that. We like to do a little bit of research and find out what happened during this episode. During this one, we have a bit of a time check here. Okay, we're talking chronology in the course of the show. The events of True North in general, they take place, courtesy a line that I think Emma says, they take place a month after Emma arrives to Storybrooke. So 9 episodes in, we are a month into her being there. She says it to some random character. And in the Enchanted Forest, the flashbacks occur. Okay, so the thing with the flashbacks, we had some people talk to us in messages and on Discord and stuff about being confused about the timeline in the Enchanted Forest. The deal with the Enchanted Forest is that they're bouncing to different the characters that we're following in normal time in Storybrooke. We're following that character storyline in the Enchanted Forest, and those overlap. So we have to do a little bit of bouncing around when we go back to the Enchanted Forest, because some of those timelines are happening concurrently, like this one, where these flashbacks occur after Snow Falls, which Snow Falls is episode 3. That's when Snow White and Prince Charming meet for the first time, right? It happens concurrently with the next episode, 7:15 a.m., which is when we're going to get back into the love triangle story with Snow White and Charming and Catherine, or Abigail, whoever she is.
That lady.
Yeah, that lady. And then it's 2 days before what happened to Frederick, which is going to be in a couple episodes. So the Enchanted Forest stuff is going to bounce around a little bit. And when we get into those future episodes, I'm going to call out where it's going to fall. But basically, all of the Snow White, Charming, love triangle stuff is going to happen in order. And right now, because we're not talking about those characters, we're kind of jetting in the middle of that story. But that's the basic foundation storyline that we're following in the Enchanted Forest, and that's the reason why the Enchanted Forest timeline is bouncing around, because throughout that string, while we're not talking about Snow and Charming, we're just like cutting into whatever characters wherever they happen to be. Mm-hmm. So next week we're going to get back into like basically the, if you would call it, the main storyline. So the Storybrooke content specifically, in this episode. When Hansel and Gretel arrive at the gingerbread house, there's no smoke coming from the chimney. And in the illustration of the kids escaping the gingerbread house in Henry's book, the chimney is smoking, which is supposed to be a very subtle reference to the end of the Hansel and Gretel fairy tale when the blind witch is being burned in her own oven. It's very, very subtle. So I'm assuming that means that they're not going to like get into that in the show, but I like the little touch of the ode to the story that we know, just putting it in those illustrations of showing like no smoke in the chimney, but now at the end they actually show the smoke.
She did.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. A little bit of reused props. We have, this is really weird that they call us that. The round cookies that Ava and Nicholas eat in Mary Margaret's loft, I'm assuming these are the orphan children, also decorate the walls of the gingerbread house. It's the same cookies. So we'll see if we can actually point that out in the show. If it actually, you can see that it's the same one. And last but not least, there's a little bit of a small, stupid taping goof. A lot of times, so really these occur because they have to do retakes of stuff just for camera angles and things. And there is a person on set who's responsible for two things: for making sure that the script lines are being said exactly the way that they happened in the script, as a script supervisor. And that person is also responsible for continuity, which is making sure, like, was this cup in this place during the last take? They have to tell the assistant director, like,
Listen,
make sure
this guy or woman clearly was not very spot on all the days, because must we not forget the baseball hat?
That was, I don't understand. Well, that would be something that, like, no, I guess they just missed it. Like, that would be something where, like, that was a take that the editor shouldn't have put in and missed, and maybe somebody did, they just had a tight deadline or something like that, because on set they would have seen that person and assumed somebody in post will deal with it. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a delicate dance. Well, in this episode, Hansel dips a finger in this circular shaped icing on the outside of the gingerbread house because they're stupid fat kids and they want candy. After Gretel gives him a warning look and the camera gives a front angle of the house, part of the icing is missing because he dug his hand in it. Well, when Gretel climbs up to peek inside the window, the icing is full again. Oh. So they just mixed up the takes, or they chose a take from a different thing, and then but that's something that what's interesting is I want to see if, now that we know that it's a thing, can we actually see it in the show? You know,
like the hat.
Like the hat, because that was a hard one. I was actually like, but now you can't unsee it, and it's
cannot unsee the hat.
It is so broad daylight, just like oh man. Well, the very last thing we do before we watch the episode together is we do a little ode to our friends from the Lost Island.
From the island.
We call this section What's in the Hatch. So the writers of this show are the same writers from Lost. The creator, Damon Lindelof, did not directly involve himself in this show, but he had a heavy influence in talking to the writers and stuff. So there are a lot of Lost references in all of the Once Upon a Time episodes. I think just about every single one. And What's in the Hatch is when we call out what those Easter eggs are. In this one, Ava and Nicholas Zimmer hide stolen Apollo bars in Henry's bag. The Apollo bars come back. The Apollo bars were a fictional candy bar that only exists in the Lost world. And the last one is one of the Lost numbers, which I'm pretty sure now, I want to see if every single episode has some number thing.
Has a number thing, yeah. I don't know why it wouldn't.
Right.
Because like we've talked about, it's a pretty easy throw in. Like, it requires thought, because, you know, you're dealing with something in the background, but I feel like every episode should have a number situation.
Right, just one. In this one, the stranger's license plate features the number 23, so we'll have to figure out which license plate that is. And now that we've gotten all of that garbage out of the way, all of that weird information, we get to watch the show. Are you ready, Isla?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's do it.